Is it just my corner of the internet, or is everybody obsessed with this Zendaya look? And I understand why. It is the definition of ethereal. It's dreamy, it's sun-kissed, it's really undone. In fact, I think a lot of the work of this look is coming from the fact that the eyes are so bare. She's not even wearing mascara, and it has this almost raw quality, or to put it more simply, it's almost looks naked in a way. But there is a lot going on here. So I want to break down this look. I did watch the makeup artist who created this look. He did a reel breaking down a lot of the things he did. But what I want to do is really share how I modify it for myself and share tips and tricks in my process for explaining the tweaks you may often have to do as well to recreate a look, because a lot of the time we think it's about placing the products in the exact same way, getting the same products, in fact, but a lot of the time we can use what we already have. We often have to modify things, the placement, the colors to suit our features, and that's the way you can really embody the look. And then there's a lot more to this look than just the makeup. So I'll break that down as well. And if you're new here, these kinds of looks are definitely a cornerstone of my channel. I love all things ethereal. In fact, this look in particular is quite a great example of the angelic aura from my ethereal aura style guide, but it's also mixed with a touch of the mythic aura, that sun-kissed element. It looks like she's been in the sun, yet there's this lofty, angelic, unreal feel. She almost seems like a statue. So it's very goddess-like as much as it's angelic. It's so gorgeous. I understand why everybody's freaking out about it. So today I'm going to break down how I recreated this look on myself. I hope it encourages you to look at your own face, your own makeup collection, and see how you can recreate this look, or at least borrow a lot of elements from it. So that's the plan for today. Let's get into it. So the makeup artist did share that a lot of this look was about starting with skincare and really allowing hydrating, glowy things to sink in to your face before going into the makeup. And as he also said, use what works for you. Everyone's skin's different, so don't feel like you have to buy exactly what he used on Zendaya. Your skin may be oily, your skin may be dry. You may have to modify for what you have. I ended up using my usual moisturizer for the day that's very light, and used glowy skincare makeup prep hybrids for my skin prep. So I used the Danessa Myricks Glow Drops as well as a drop of the Typology Bronze Drops because I wanted to bring a lot of warmth, glow, and even this shimmeriness to the base of the skin, and these are very skincare-esque. So I applied that all over the face, and it looks a little strange at first because of that slight bronziness, but once you layer other things on top, it definitely makes a lot more sense. And I particularly focused on products that aren't too slippery and slidey. These ones have a bit of tackiness that I find makes it great for layering makeup, because if I go too much in the direction of those really emollient products, it really will start to emphasize my skin texture. I find it'll break down throughout the day. So that's another thing you should know. Zendaya is showing up here for this very particular hour where she's on the red carpet. The look has to look its best then, but you may be doing something like this that you want to last all day. So these are things you're going to want to factor in. Then in terms of coverage, he did really emphasize that this is very light coverage, often turning to something like a serum foundation. However, I find my skin has some old acne scarring and some discoloration that when I'm creating a look, especially a more minimal look, I like to cover up. So what I did first was start with some brightening in the areas of the face that I prefer to bring some light and coverage. And then where I have scarring, I decided to layer a bit of that concealer, but I did make sure not to put much under the eyes. There's something about leaving the under eyes a little bit undone. It was more the inner corner of the eye I decided to focus the brightening in. And then I decided to mix two foundations, one that has a very glowy, light reflecting quality, and then one that's a little bit more skin-like. Like I said, I have to factor in my skin type and the fact that it's a little bit more textured than, say, Zendaya's or someone with very smooth skin. So I don't want something that's going to be too glowy. So in this way, I get the best of both worlds. I get that little bit of coverage and sort of soft, matte, skin-like finish, but I still get that light, reflecting, glowy kind of foundation. And I do think it's really worth noting, if you start to layer products like this, you may find, hey, what's happening to my glow? I look so glowy at first. But trust the process, because as the products settle in your face, sink in, the glow kind of comes out again. You know, even after you powder, you might find, oh, the glow is coming back through. So that's another thing to note. Like, trusting the process is definitely a big part of this look, and you'll see in a moment when it comes to the blush. Now, Zendaya is quite tan. She has a medium skin tone, and because I'm very fair, I decided to add a little bit of bronzer to this look, even though the focus is really on the blush. So that's another time you're gonna wanna consider your natural features. Maybe you're very cool tone and bronzer just doesn't make sense for you. Skip it. I am warm, so I love a bit of bronzer to warm up the face, and it's a great base for me to also match my chest, which is currently a little bit tanned because it's summer. So these are all the little tweaks you may consider, even though he mentioned not really using bronzer on Zendaya. Now, the makeup artist, he was talking about these very, I'm sure, expensive Prada blushes that I bet they've sold out because of this look. And he used 2 Prada blushes. Now, I looked at my collection and I definitely have more than enough to choose from. And so I used the KJH brand Soft Raisin. It's a rosy terracotta, just like the Prada blush. So it's going to do it for me. And what I want to emphasize at this point is a couple things. One, just working very softly, building things up slowly for 2 reasons. One, to just see how it feels as you start to apply a lot of blush. This is a very blushy look. In fact, you want to feel like you have a bit of blush blindness as you approach this stage. And also work softly because we have such a glowy finish. And because for me in particular, I have to really maintain that coverage. I worked hard to build up slowly. I don't want to disturb what's happening beneath the blush. So I just work in, very feather light touch, working the blush into the eyes, skimming it a little bit on the forehead as well. Maybe you like to put it on your chin, even, working onto your neck. This is meant to feel like, that rosy terracotta is giving a bit of that been in the sun all day feeling. Now, Zendaya's really emphasizes a lot on the nose. I just did a little bit on my nose because of the shape of my nose. It's a little bit more structured and angular. I find when I go for a blushy nose look, it just truly looks like a sunburn. Whereas if you have more of a slope to your nose, you may find it kind of emphasizes that dimension in a more natural way. So again, this is the kind of thing you may want to consider. If you don't like anything on your nose, leave it. You can still get a huge integrity of the look with focusing on blush on the cheeks and totally skipping the nose. Now, maybe you have more of a cool undertone and something that's a little bit more rosy and warm is not going to work for you. Well, you can definitely recreate this look with more cool pinks. Think of that English rose kind of look that focuses on more of classic pinks rather than these more warm, earthy pinks. It's very important that you feel comfortable with this look or any look and feel like your best self, and that it's going to really elevate you. Then the second blush is more of a bright cherry red, and I do really encourage you to play with multiple blush tones. I think that's where you get a lot of the dimension. It's one of my favorite things to do with blush because you can make use of all the products you have already. A lot of us have many blush colors, or at least a couple, so you get to play with that dimension that's created. And there really is something too when you're doing a blush blindness kind of look where you have this diffuse softer blush and then the focused depth right at the center, or perhaps you want to place it higher, perhaps a little lower, whatever works for you. Again, I want to emphasize that. Maybe you have really full cheeks like me, just going right on the center of the apples makes sense. Maybe you prefer a little bit more of a lifted blush and you want to put the center on the cheekbone. Maybe you like it lower. Then for the lips, he didn't mention using a lip liner, the makeup artist, but I did see in the photos, it looks like a warm, sandy kind of liner. So I went in with one from Makeup Forever, Anywhere Caffeine, and just overlined the lips. I went for it a lot because I knew at this next step I was gonna kind of smudge it out. So then using the cheek tones to really create the sense of harmony in the look, you wanna blur that on the lips. Maybe you wanna skip overlining because perhaps you have thinner lips and when you overline it just kind of looks perhaps messy. Or maybe you want to add more of a definition. That is also going to look beautiful. But having this tie-in with the lips and cheeks is the most important step. That's where you get that sense of this painterly quality, because if you were a painter, you would be using the same tones on the cheeks and the lips a lot of the time. It creates this sense of unity within the look, especially when you have these same colors going in the creases of the eye, on the forehead. It just feels very dimensional. So I really encourage you, whatever you do, however you decide to shape out the lip, is to get that matching tonality. And then a little bit of balm to soften it out. And then for the brows, I just kept them with my usual routine. With any makeup look, I often find brows are one of those things that you want to just stick to what you know, stick to what you like. And then at this point, we basically have most of the look, but now these little tweaks and details are gonna just bring it all together. Now I'm looking very blushy, very blush blindness, but when I go in with a little bit of powder selectively, it starts to make it feel a little softer and part of my face. So definitely around the nose and beside the nose. I find when I look too glowy here, it just looks greasy and sweaty versus when I keep the glow on the cheekbones. That's when you really get that sense of lit from within. But if it's too much here, that's when you start to feel maybe a little, I look just like sweaty. So the makeup artist, he also did mention putting powder there, but being a little bit more selective. I did put some powder right under the blush above the jawline because I have textured skin, and if it's too glowy there, it kind of emphasizes the texture in a way that I don't particularly like. However, the texture on the apples of the cheeks, even though it's showing some of my old scarring, still seems to me like just healthy and beautiful. But I like to tailor it to my skin type and, you know, what parts of the face I do like that glow. It doesn't have to be all over, just like Zendaya. I used a touch of eyeshadow to set down the eyes as well and add a little bit extra dimension. And then I did tuck a tiny bit of shading in the lash line. I'm very fair. Zendaya already has some depth to her lashes because of her coloring. So I found that putting that little bit of dimension there was enough to create the illusion of something happening there while still maintaining that very bare, no mascara kind of look. So maybe you do have very light lashes like me, or you just really love how mascara looks. Go for it. You don't have to go for this no mascara look. I know it can feel very, well, naked for a lot of us. We're so used to a makeup look feeling complete with lashes, but I encourage you to wait till the end and see how it feels before you make that amendment. Or you can always put your mascara on a brush and just put a touch on the lashes. That's a great hack for getting a touch of mascara if you just feel like you need that for a look to feel complete. And then I decided to use a powder highlight at this point because sometimes when I've really perfected everything, if I go in for another liquid product, I might start disturbing and lifting the blush. I find powders are a little bit more forgiving and good for doing detail work and going onto the eyes. So I went in with this silvery highlight on the cheekbone, just really banging out that top of the cheekbone, the top of the brow bone, and kind of messily going on the eyes and a little bit on the temples, and then the inner corner. Yes, she 100% has an inner corner highlight. I even brought it a little bit onto the under eyes to kind of bring this sense of openness and that angelic quality. I think there's this rawness that happens when you're not afraid to emphasize the lines here. At this point, I just want to talk about the little details that 100% make a difference with this look. This look is not quite the same without the surrounding supporting elements. The undone hair, the soft romantic waves or curls, and having those little face framing pieces. I practiced this look yesterday. It was a no shower day. I was about to go to the beach and my hair was back and greasy, and the effect wasn't quite the same when I decided to see how the little tendrils of hair worked. Adding any kind of sparkly jewelry you may have. I love how the silver just really pops against my warm undertone and the warmth of this whole look. And then I don't know how much you can see it, but she definitely has these little bit of sparkles, like angelic Also fun, sparkles all over her chest. So I used the Fenty Diamond Bomb and, picked a very angelic kind of dress shirt I have, which just goes with the look. And I think it's important to note that because sometimes we do recreate looks without considering how much the bigger picture is part of it. The breeze happening. I turned on a fan because I got to embody this as best I can to just show you how all those little differences make a difference, right? It's all part of the bigger story and styling. And I think that's also why we are so drawn to this look. There's this storytelling element. It's my favorite part of beauty and makeup when you can create more than just a makeup look. It's this energy. It's an embodiment. It's like Zendaya is stepping into this angelic, statuesque, beautiful woman. And I hope if you decide to try this look, you feel encouraged to do the same and really look at those elements, those supporting pieces of this archetype, essentially, that she's embodying of an angel, that you can also understand that it's part of a bigger story. Pick out your most dreamy kind of shirt or dress and see how it feels. Curl your hair if it's not already curly. If it's curly, let it be a little wild and messy. Just throw it back and just see how you feel at the end. And one last thing, I also encourage you, if you're ever trying a new look you're unsure about, that no mascara is not something a lot of us always feel comfortable trying. Do it before bed or, before your shower makeup, as they call it. That's such a wonderful time to have that time to yourself to play with makeup and beauty because you're not having that pressure of committing to it. If you're a little bit intimidated by too much blush, again, a beautiful time to you're just about to shower, you just sit with the look, see how it feels. There's no stakes. And this look is a lot more blush than you think or maybe are used to. The lack of mascara is a little bit disconcerting, but it just works so much because of that. So take some pictures of yourself or just take elements of this look. You could definitely take this cheek and lip combo and do a bit more of a smoky eye. I think it would be so gorgeous as well. It would also be pretty, would be a lot of sparkles on the lids. I love sparkles. So something like that. Anyway, friends, that is it for today. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial and Toasty, let us take it away. Thank you everybody for watching this video until the end. If you're new here, again, want to remind you that these kinds of looks are something I explore a lot. And I have a whole style guide all about embodying the ethereal on the everyday. And I have a few videos on that. I'll link the playlist down below if you're curious. You can also pick up the guide. And if you've been here a while and you want to support my work, I do have Patreon and YouTube memberships for bonus content, ad-free content on Patreon. So if you choose to support me, I am so honored and blessed to have, well, just in general, such a beautiful community of people. And thank you for watching. And I hope you try this look and feel like an angel too, just like Toasty, just like Zendaya. And until next time, may you all find yourselves a little bit of makeup magic, and we will see you in the next video. Bye, witches.